On our first fight of 1992, junior middleweight action. Roy Jones Jr. stepping into the ring against Jorge Vaca. It's fight time for 1992, and as always, for the action, let's go now to ringside and my colleague, WNBC New York sportscaster Lynn Berman. Lynn?
Thank you, Cambrell Marshall, and excitement is in the air. The fabled Felt Forum, and this is the grand reopening as the Paramount, and we are thrilled to be here for this first night of action. And forget Hackman, forget Cosby. We've got Joe Goosen.
Lucky you, lad.
And Joe, Jorge Vaca, his bags were packed. He was out of here.
Right.
He said he was not fighting. What turned it around?
Well, I believe that when he had to give up that 2 pounds to Roy Jones, he really didn't want to give that weight. He decided that he was going to leave town. The Dubas had him up in a meeting this morning, convinced him somehow to stay, and he's fighting tonight.
All right, Roy Jones Jr. at 15-0. He's been criticized for the lack of quality opponents, but he has yet to fight as crafty a veteran as this Jorge Vaca.
No, exactly. Jorge Vaca is a rough and tumble veteran, but Roy Jones is a tremendous athlete. Should have won the gold medal in the Olympics, and he's a talented athlete. And this is going to be his biggest test of date tonight, Jorge Vaca.
We'll start as always with our Goosen's Corner feature, an inside look at the boxers, and let us begin with Jorge Vaca.
Exactly. Jorge Vaca, this is his second appearance on TVKO. The last one, he knocked out Mark Breland. He had to use a lot of head movement, and tonight he's got to do the same. Jones is a fast puncher, and he's got to use that head movement. Keep the pressure on, and when he does get inside on Jones, rough him up like he did with Breland. Hopefully, take him out of his game plan, and that way he may win the fight.
And Jorge Vaca has made it into the ring, which is a major accomplishment based on today's developments. 44-8, 1 draw, 36 knockouts. Keep in mind, 7 of his 8 losses were knockouts, many of those because of cuts. So keep that in mind as you look at the face of the veteran Vaca. And now, let us check out Goosen's Corner for the youngster Roy Jones Jr.
Really a superb athlete and tremendous hand speed and can hit. He's got 15 fights, 15 knockouts. But tonight, it's a pressure cooker situation for him. He's got to relax against Jorge Vaca. Use a lot of angles, keep Vaca in the middle of the ring, and don't waste punches. If he's extended the 10 rounds, he better be in shape, and he can't afford to waste any punches.
And Roy Jones Jr., talented young fighter from Pensacola, Florida, 15-0 with 15 knockouts. He basically disappeared from public view, but he said he now wants to make his move. And this is his biggest fight, biggest name, biggest city venue to date, Roy Jones Jr., who lost that heartbreaking. He was robbed of that gold medal, frankly, at Seoul, Korea. And now the tale of the tape for our 2 fighters, 10 years age difference, and many more fights experience for the veteran Jorge Vaca, similar in height. Weight, a source of controversy. Jones well over 160 by now, with the weigh-in having occurred last night, and the equal reach at 74 inches. Our New York State rules for our first fight tonight. It's a 10-round fight, 10-point must system. Standing 8 count is in effect, as is the 3 knockdown rule. Cannot be saved by the bell in any round. The doctor or referee can stop the fight. And right now, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the pre-fight introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boxing is alive and well in the Big Apple. Welcome to the Paramount here in New York City's Madison Square Garden, where tonight, main events in association with Madison Square Garden presents professional boxing for your entertainment. All the bouts tonight are sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The 3 judges assigned by the commission for this first bout, doing the scoring on a 10-point must system, are Don Ackerman, Don Nodeker, and Barbara Perez. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of all the action, referee Luis Rivera. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the gold trunks with black trim and weighs an even 158 pounds. From Pensacola, Florida, this 1988 Olympic silver medalist is undefeated with a record of 15-0. All by knockout victory, ladies and gentlemen, presenting Roy Jones Jr. And across the ring in the blue corner, his opponent wearing the green trunks with white trim, weighing in at an even 155 pounds, from Guadalajara, Mexico. He's ranked number 2 in the world by the WBC and brings an outstanding professional record, 44-8-1, 36 of his 44 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, Jorge Vaca.
Check it. I want a clean fight. I don't want rubbing punches, no kidney punches, no low punches. Any night down, go to the further neutral corner, and I stay there until I tell you to come out. 3 nights down, the fight and the fight automatically. Listen to my command and protect yourself at all times. Good luck.
Roy Jones Jr. says if Vaca decides to fight, it will not go 5 rounds. Vaca, we saw on TBKO last September, stunning ending to Mark Breland's career in Sacramento.
Vaca will fight. There's no doubt about it. So if that's the case, Jones thinks he won't last 5.
It is scheduled for 10 middleweights. And Vaca is fighting, comes right after him. Goes right after Jones.
Well, he did, and he caught him with a nice little short right hand and hit a few good body shots already.
And Jones showboating a little bit, craning his neck out towards Vaca, then smacks him with a right hook.
And Roy Jones has got a tremendous left hook.
Oh, yeah. Look at the quickness of his hands, Joe.
Vaca has got to keep that right hand up. I just noticed right there at the beginning of the round, he threw his own left hook, did Vaca, and dropped that right hand. If he does that, the speed of Jones may catch up to him there. That's exactly where he had Breland, this type of situation right here.
He had Breland helpless, as we hope to show you a bit later on. Jones at various times, because of his speed, has been compared to an Ali for quickness or a Sugar Ray Leonard. He definitely has the speed advantage over Vaca. Low left hand thrown by Jones. Oh, sharp right hand.
Well, Vaca just got out of the way of that right hand, tried to counter with his own, and came close himself, but neither of them landed solidly.
Jones lands against the ropes. And the left hand, down he goes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it. That's the fight right there. And it was that right hand that was down by his waist. Got clipped with the left hook sitting on the ropes, Len.
In stunning fashion, Roy Jones Jr. goes to 16-0 with 16 knockouts with the big left hook. Vaca wanted to leave town and hurried this afternoon. He'll certainly have the opportunity this evening.
Well, I'll tell you, he's gonna leave town with his head hanging, because that's really a devastating knockout, and that really could spell the end of Jorge Vaca in this division. Here we go. Here's a little replay of the setup here. Jones leans in with a right hand left hook, uppercut. This is where he had Vaca on the ropes, where Vaca shouldn't have been. Really nothing tremendously solid except a few uppercuts landed in that sequence. But here's the knockout here, where Vaca's against the ropes again, and he's going to drop that right hand, and look, one left hook, bingo. That was it. You see the devastating power with just that one shot there. We're going to get another angle of this. Here's Jones, a right hand to the body, and Vaca trying to counter with his own right uppercut, but his hands are dangerously low for sitting on the ropes with a guy with this much speed like Jones, and bingo. That hurts. Here we go. One last look at this, and I'm not sure if it's the same angle or possibly a different angle. It is a different angle. Look at that. Jones just countered right off of Vaca's jab and leaned in and threw that crushing left hook, and that was it. Lights out.
So those who criticized Roy Jones's quality of opponents will take a closer look now.
When you're as good an athlete as Jones is and as much talent as he has, which we even saw going back to the Olympics, you knew that he's ahead of his time, really, even for 15 fights. He's real composed. You saw how relaxed he was, and he's got, I mean, devastatingly quick speed.
Great left hook from Roy Jones Jr.
You know, this kid,
Jorge Vaca.
This kid Jones is going places because Vaca doesn't usually get knocked out that easily.
All right, let's go up to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Luis Rivera reaches the count of 10. At 1:45 of the very first round here in the Paramount of Madison Square Garden, this young man's record now, 16-0, 16 knockouts for Roy Jones Jr.
He hot dogged just a little bit early in that first round, and then apparently one of these guys who will back up his actions with a solid left hand. And Vaca still sitting on a stool, just contemplating what has happened here.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for Jorge Vaca from Guadalajara, Mexico. He's going to be all right. Let us give him a hand.
It has been a tumultuous day for Jorge Vaca. The CompuBox for the entire fight. Roy Jones Jr. landing nearly half of his 47 punches thrown. Vaca actually threw a bit more, but you see his land percentage. None of them did any damage to Roy Jones Jr. And then Jones, the only real statistic that counts, that big left hook at 145 that ended it of the first round. And Joe Goossen's up in the ring with the winner.
Fight's over. I'm here with Roy Jones. Roy,
Yeah.
did you think you could put him out this early with one punch like that?
Well, I told you yesterday that it would be a very short fight once I figured out that I had everything on course, and I seen that they was making a few excuses. And I told you and everybody else that came to my room, I said, if he does take the fight, it won't be a long fight.
Now, do you think this erases a lot of questions in people's minds about the quality of opposition? And now that you've had this type of opposition, who would you like to step up to next?
Well, I don't know yet. It's according to what my staff says. Me and my staff have mutual agreements on everything, and I listen to what they recommend or what they think should go on or what they have in store already, and then I'll think it over, and if I like it, I'll stay. If I don't, then I'll say what I think. But right now, I will just concentrate on this one fight. So until I get home and get me a little rest, we'll go. After that, we'll go through some negotiations, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. Was there any time in the fight that you were concerned about the power of Vaca or about his pressure that he was putting on you, or did you think you had it the whole time?
Vaca threw some real good punches at me. He even caught me with one uppercut. That was a real good uppercut, and I decided that I started to move around and say, well, let me box a minute. Then I thought about it, and I said, well, I better go ahead on and do what he want to do. He want to trade. Let's trade. We'll find out who got the best lick. And that's what we did, but he couldn't take my trade. And I knew he wouldn't. As soon as I warmed up, I knew I was going to have things flowing, and I would get him. I'd like to say hi to my mom and everybody back at home and everybody everywhere, all my ball buddies and everything.
Let me get back to what happened earlier today, or yesterday, I should say, at the weigh-in. The weight. What was the problem with your weight? Why were you 2 pounds over, and how did you guys finally rectify the matter?
Well, I wasn't 2 pounds over. My contract said 157. I was about 157. Really, my weight, I was about 157, maybe an eighth, But then I went and did a couple things to get the eighth off, and I got over there, and it said like 157 and a half, close to 158. And the guy kept pushing the scale over, and they kept arguing. But they had been arguing about the 157 after. That's what I've been seeing on the contract the whole time, the day before. We had a press conference Thursday. Thursday. And they started arguing when they seen me Thursday about the 157 and 156. But I paid no mind. I just kept working, and I worked hard to make that weight. And, if he would have turned it down, I just would have said, hey, well, I did my part.
One more quick question. Is this your last fight in the 50s? Are you moving up to the 60-pound division now?
Maybe I will. I don't know yet. It's according to what comes up.
All right. Okay, Roy, tremendous fight. Congratulations, and good luck to you in the future. Hope to see you again. Len, back to you now.
All right, thank you, Joe Goossen. The thought from many quarters was that Roy Jones Jr. was being taken too slowly by his dad, Roy Jones Sr. It doesn't always work when a father manages a son. But Roy told us this morning, the son, that he would like to fight for the championship within 6 to 8 months. Well, so he doesn't want to move so slowly now after all, and off what he showed us here at 145 of the first round with that left hook. I'd like to see him go for the title. He said he's not afraid of a James Toney or any of the other fine middleweights in America. So, big win for Roy Jones Jr. He called it his coming out party, and it was certainly a victorious celebration for him this evening in the first round. That's the story from ringside on our first brief fight of the evening. Let's go back to our host, Cambrell Marshall.